Welcome back, our live community, right? Hi, Vlada. How is the day today?
It's going fantastic, and I
Fantastic.
can't wait to argue with you some more about
Oh
this
my
topic.
God. Oh my God. You didn't come across as a person who likes to argue, but now we know
Only
what
with
you
select
really love.
people. I
Okay.
like to argue with select people like
Well,
yourself.
chew on this, chew on this. Let me just give a quick intro to those who are joining us just right now. Chew on This is our weekly show that we host every Thursday at 1 p.m. EST. No days off, nothing, right? Where we come together with Vlada and we talk all things entrepreneurship, foundership, um, life, business, friendship, I don't know, leadership styles like today, everything. So we share the topics for you to chew on. By the way, Vada, why chew on this?
Well,
How did it
because it
come?
has to be bite-sized learning, bite-sized tips and tricks to live a better life and build a bigger business. And as we often talk, right, it's all one life, right? There is no work and life that is separate. And so I think what I really want to bring here and is practical insights, something that's light, so the lunch time goes down, but it's also insightful, and gives you something to noodle over or chew on this or whatever food
Yeah.
related analogy you like.
I love this. I think one day we should tell our audience how we came up with the name. I remember the name was born in the middle of Design District in Miami,
That's right.
and yeah, if you guys are interested to learn how we actually generated, how we came up with this name, let us know in the comments. Like, I want to know where the name comes from, and we will make sure to schedule one of our upcoming shows and talk about, how to brand your
Naming,
show.
maybe
Yeah,
naming.
naming, how to brand your show, or how to name your business, or how to name your project. I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm seeking for a name for my one of my new projects, one of the education project here in Miami. So that can be something that can help you
yeah,
guys
we can
out.
do a real live case. Yeah, that's
Absolutely,
fun.
let's do it. Well, look at this. We haven't even done this show, but we already have
The next one.
the
The
next
next one.
one.
Amazing. Well, the topic today is
What is this?
relevant for everyone, right? And I think what's really cool, we have this catchy name, to boss or not to boss, but the reality of it, right, the focus is on leadership style. And I think, like in everything, there is really no black and white, there is no right or wrong, right? But I think what we really want to debate with you guys is from our own experience, in which situation we've seen the bossiness sort of work, in which cases you really need to be open and collaborative, and what does it really depend on? Is it who you have on the team? Is it the stage of the business? Is it I don't know what kind of decisions are need to be made, right? At the end of the day, there are very few decisions that truly make or break your business or your life, but at the same time, it all is a sequence of small decisions that we make on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, you're going deep, Lada. You're going deep. I suggest that we start with deciding who is taking which side, right? So I have this green
And then
paper.
you telling me that I like to argue. Now you're already debating. All right, bring it
I'm
on.
being
Bring it
bossy,
on.
bossy right now. I'm being bossy right now. Do you guys
Taking
like it?
control.
Did you guys like it? You can comment on. By the way, I have a question. What do you guys think? People who are watching us, or people who are watching this later, what leadership style does Vlada have? What leadership style do I have? Bossy, not bossy, authoritative, or what is that?
Collaborative, I guess,
I don't
maybe.
even know that. Just kidding. That's not in my book. That wasn't a hint. That was a joke.
Don't make
Yeah,
stuff up, Anna.
collaboration, collaborative. Yeah. So, to boss. So I'm gonna hide this piece of paper in one of my hands, and Vlada, you have to pick which one. And if you get the green paper, it means that you are supporting to boss.
Two
To
boss.
boss.
All
Yeah.
right. Can I see your hands? So no cheating. All right. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Keep showing them so I can see where you put it.
I will show both. I will show both. Okay. So which shirt do you pick?
The one, I don't know, closer to the limb, the left hand, your left
This
hand.
one.
Yeah.
You pick this one.
Yeah. Ah, it's the boss.
To
All
boss.
right.
To
All
boss.
right.
To boss.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Did you want to support? Did you want to talk about to boss? Did you want to be?
yeah, I would like that. I think that maybe it's not my natural style,
Oh no
but
no no! No,
I
don't
do.
spill the beans yet. Don't spill. The beans yet. We'll talk about in the conversation. Let's just get started. So you want to go first? To boss. What is your argument that to boss, being bossy, being authoritative, right, is the way to lead?
Yeah. Um, well, I think that being bossy is really critical for decisions that require rapid action, meaning if you're collaborative, if you ask everyone's opinion, if you collect all the information, and many times you need to make a decision where you don't have a lot of data, especially in early stage startup. And a lot of decisions are based on your vision, on understanding something kind of on a gut in an intuitive level. And so in this cases, I think you have to really move with your gut feeling. And that means that you need to be bossy. Like you just need to look at kind of what's available. Is there data available? Are people around the table like have actual experience and can bring the data? If the answer is no and you need a fast decision, I think you need to be bossy and say, we're going to go this way and just
My way
follow
or no way?
my way, or yes. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's an interesting argument. However, I believe that if you are too bossy, you will definitely kill your team's creativity. Your team's creativity, and technically, you are going to be a one person, like I don't know, one person team, like one person team.
One man show.
One man show, yeah, one person team, one man show, yeah. And technically, you're gonna have this team, but they are. I mean, this word just came to mind. They're paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
They're paralyzed. They're just there. And then you as a leader, you're gonna go down, man. You're gonna go down because you will end up like you as a leader. You already have all the burden on your shoulders, right? You're responsible for every process, for every person on your team, for everything. So now you'll be, well, I mean, sometimes you might even like do somebody's work, again, depending on like how
Right.
bossy you are. So definitely, I believe that not to boss, right? Not being too bossy really fosters creativity and also creates trust. Because when you are on the same page with your team and they see you as part of the team, they are open to saying no to you. And I think this is the most valuable thing that you as a leader can get, the no's. I don't want people to agree with me on everything because I don't know everything. If I know everything, it means that my ego is not in place, and definitely no success, like no immediate success is coming my way. Maybe no success in general is coming my way, because ego is a big thing that leaders have and that they have to control, actually. So that's my counter argument.
Yeah, and I just came up with a little cheat on this. So I actually think that there is something. I would put it in my bossy category, but I think it's something maybe in a different system, if you will, right? I really believe in leading by example, like you're parenting by example, right? People don't listen to what you say, right? They obviously know they remember how you made them feel. They remember what your actions really are, right? Not your words. And so I think that to me, being bossy means really being the ultimate person who follows the principles and the rules that you want others to follow. And that then you kind of are bossy by definition, because you're really choosing the higher path. And so what that means for me, for example, just to give you a specific example, right? Oftentimes when we were building ClassTag, there was unfortunate reality that the busiest time was always summer. and many of people on my team are parents, and of course it's just very unfortunate that they have to work so hard in the summer when their kids are off, because it's just the timeline. And I wanted to take some time off too in the summer, like August, July, and it was the busiest months, right? So I think I always like face this dilemma, and sort of how to really balance it, because if I'm taking time off, I felt then everyone else should. And sort of how do you really deal with just asking people to work really hard and then saying, well, by the way, I'm out for 2 weeks or for a week and not working, right? So I think that's just like one example, but the same has to do with, if you want everyone to be excellent communicators on your team, you better be an excellent communicator. If you show up, if you want people to show up on time to meetings, you better show up on time, right? Whatever those things that you preach, you have to leave them.
Well, Vlada, this was all great, but I don't accept your cheap.
I didn't even count on that.
Counter argument, because technically what you were describing, like I said, is great. I agree with you, but that's a leadership. That's not bossiness, whatever
Okay.
it is, the word.
So
But
what is the difference then? So are you saying that leadership is not a title? It is a just a quality that people exhibit, as opposed to...
Yeah, it's the quality.
This is a quality too, no, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, they go hand in hand. The difference is your behavior.
Oh, you're agreeing a little bit already. Okay.
Yeah. They go ahead, but like the difference is the behavior, right? So I believe that when you're bossy, you don't really care about other people, and the worst part is, of course, you lose the creativity, like I said, on the team. But I would say that this is just the start. This is just the beginning of like all the bad things that come after that. So you lose trust. People don't trust you. They're afraid of you, right? They don't feel comfortable saying no, like disagreeing with you, and then you end up having these toxic relationships on the team.
Yeah.
I think. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I completely agree with it. And I was just actually thinking, I completely agree with the fact that it supports the bossiness, actually. That's what I agree with. But I think what I just thought about is actually, obviously there are, a lot of benefits to being collaborative with the team. And I think one of the, my sort of mantras is asking more questions and talking less, so people sort of find the solution on their own, right? And sort of not come to you with every problem, and you don't have to micromanage anyone, and people are acquiring the skill of making their own decisions in this more collaborative environment. But I think what Bossiness is good for is taking accountability. Because
in which way? Well, wait a second.
Because I think Bossiness is, I think when we think about these kind of super strong CEOs or, startup leaders and, business leaders, a lot of them say, oh, I grew this by 5x. I crossed, $50 million or whatever that milestone is. But then when the sales shrank by 2x, on the contrary, right? How many of them actually take accountability? So Bossiness is actually taking ownership of the downside much more than it is sort of distributing this accountability, right? Because when all the decisions are collaborative and sort of no one is to blame or be in charge, that's the downside of sort of who's accountable. And when things don't go right, and again, like it's all about experimentation, especially if you're talking about startup world, right, where you constantly try new things, right? And many of them fail, right? You launch this course, that course, 50 other things, and most of them fail. But who is responsible, right? And as a boss, you are responsible, right? And I think that's where it has to be clear, sort of where does the bus stop, and sort of as a bossy person, it stops with you at all times.
Yeah, well, Lada, guess what? I'm gonna help you here a little bit.
All right.
Not that you need my help, but I do believe that being bossy is necessary for decision making, like you said. And also it is like the group of people needs a leader, right? Like we said, but the leader can be like bossy or not bossy. I believe that we should combine both characteristics. Like I said earlier, that you have to make sure you are not bossy, to have that creativity on your team, right? To have that open-mindedness of your team, to have that healthy relationship where the team feels that there is growth, there is like support, there is trust in everything. But at the same time, there has to be a way to show your leadership skills in the way that decisions are made at the right time, at the right place, right? The team knows where they're going. And another thing that is very important for a leader is not to undermine their authority, right? Because like oftentimes people consider this like super egalitarian leadership style, where super collaborative and egalitarian, where there is no boss and the decisions are made together as a group. That can be seen, and you still have the manager, right? Because like that's how companies operate. But then if you are the manager who is like never involved in decision making process, then people might see you as a weak personality, as a weak person. And usually by human nature, I don't know why, I'm actually curious to know what you think about this. Why do people think that if you are like being friends, I like this saying, and I said it so many times, even to my team. Being friends, the fact that like being friends doesn't mean friendly, or being friendly doesn't mean friends, and vice versa, right? So if I'm friendly to you, it doesn't mean we're friends. But a lot of people, they don't see this line, right? So they think like, oh, Anna is my boss, but she's so friendly, she jokes, she's she's like super nice and outgoing. And then they like, people don't feel it. So that's why I actually said it out loud a couple of times to my team, like, we're all friendly, guys. We have to be friendly. I don't want to work in an unfriendly environment, right? But it doesn't mean we're friends.
They're here for to achieve a goal.
And
right?
my other thing that I did tell my team, we're not a family. Because it might sound not like, because people just, so many companies like, we're not a family. I have my mom, I have my brother, I have my relatives. We are family. These are like different relationship that I'm building with my family.
Right.
We are the team. Think of it like, I like to think of it as a sports team. We have a goal. We need to achieve this goal. On our way, we have to be friendly. We have to be mindful. We have to trust each other. We have to. So like, it's more, I would say that being like working together as a team is more about sports, not about being a family and having like a romantic or like relative relation. I mean, not relative.
Yeah, and it's a fine line, right? Because I think, first of all, different people perceive being friendly differently, maybe based on their prior experience. Maybe they come from environments which were much more sort of top down. I tell you what to do, you execute. And now all of a sudden they're in this environment, it's like, what do you think? How do you want to approach it? Right. And like, oh my God, we're, friends. And so I think it's important. I think it goes back to clarity of expectations and just sort of reiterating that. But I do, like, I just, practically, I was in a situation when I became quite friendly actually with someone on the team. And really, we even went to the beach together and sort of started spending some time socially. And then time came when I unfortunately had to let go of that person because of how sort of the business was evolving, and just that role was eliminated.
So the role was eliminated, or because you were like you got into like hot waters because of the
no, we didn't get into any hot waters, but she was playing kind of a function or a role that was like no longer needed. And so I did try initially to put her in different teams and give her other opportunities, but it just wasn't working out because it wasn't her skill set. And yeah, it was really tough. And I think we didn't talk, I think, for 2 years after that, until we saw each other at an event. And it was, I mean, emotionally it took a minute to, to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, so that's why, it's always good. So that's why I'm happy what English for IT does, right? So we deliver those soft skills training for teams to grow mentally in their workplaces, right? So that I remember a few years ago I did this course at Stanford on it was literally the name, how to handle tough conversations, and we did like 4 hours of like workshop training in person. It was actually on campus, how to handle difficult conversations on the team. It was so useful, and I actually like got inspired and like I created a few other programs like based on this to deliver
yeah,
through English for IT. But yeah, that's and I hope managers or I don't know, human resources, they take into account the fact that you have to translate the company's values and like how things are being done on the team, so people understand. Like you said, everyone has different background, and when today you were talking about being bossy, it's kind of like leading by example, and then you mentioned parenting, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes people would see you as their mom or their dad because you're bossy, and their dad or their mom was really bossy, right? And like that's like really mentally immature, technically, right? Emotionally immature to think that, oh, this stranger can be like your parent figure or something like this. But it's all possible because we're very much different. So that's why it's really important that I just kind of wanted to summarize your personal development is really important, and it does help you in the workspace. So like you never end up in a situation where you are too bossy or not too bossy if you are aware of who you actually are, what people are like around you, and how you all can collaborate. So I definitely think that investing in your development is really important for every stakeholder, regardless whether you're a
absolutely.
boss or you're an employee. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's a learned skill, right? As the
Oh,
more
work in
managerial
progress
experience,
always.
huh?
Work in progress always.
Work in progress. Yes, exactly. The more experience you have, the more situations you have, the more you see the blueprints. But I'm excited to hear that Anya has this training, which you guys all should check out. And I think one aspect we didn't touch on, and maybe we do a separate topic, and if you guys are interested in that, you can leave it in the comments. But it's about sort of decision making, right? There is a lot of talk about, oh my God, was this remote work or now increasingly distributed teams? There are so many meetings. So how do you actually collaborate in this environment? How do you make decisions? Do you have a special structure to the meeting so that you don't come and talk for an hour and then come out and nothing happens, right? This is the worst, right? If from a from a sort of conversation to clear next steps, I saw a post recently, from conversation to clear next steps, more than 20 it takes more than 24 hours, your startup is dead.
Yeah.
Meaning it is about speed at the end of the day, right? And I think, again, like in startup world, oftentimes you need to make decisions with very little information, right? And just because you're testing, iterating so quickly, and gut feeling is always as important as the data, right? You need to have both. But
Absolutely. And your gut feeling, you kind of mentioned it earlier today. Your gut feeling is technically your emotional intelligence, right? So because what's emotional intelligence? This is your ability to understand how you feel, first of all, right? And if you can listen and if you can understand and name your feelings, that's technically what gives you that
right.
gut feeling. Like, okay, I like this person, I want to hire them, I want to fire them, I want to work with this partner, or I don't want to work with this partner. So yeah, there's a lot of soft skills and people skills involved. Absolutely. Vlada, what have you been working? By the way, we didn't say that you guys were supposed to vote who you like as a better speaker for the debate. So we
For
can
the
do it
boss,
next time, Vlada.
you like the boss or not the boss? Which
Yeah.
one?
Actually, what do you support? A bossy leadership style, more bossy? Okay, let's put it this way. I think because we kind of like agreed with you that you have to be bossy, or and not bossy. But I'm curious to know, Vlada, and our audience, you can share that in the comments. Yeah, so we have to be both bossy and not bossy. But what is the percentage in, like, for example, what do you believe is the perfect leadership style, with like 60% bossy, 40% not bossy, 50-50? Like, what's your take on it?
I would say 80% non-bossy for me, but 20% that matters have to be bossy. And that's why people remember that. When you're truly bossy, I think it's like, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. And yeah, how about you?
Interesting. I do agree with you that it should be more collaborative style. Percentage wise, I can't tell, because I think it depends on the size of team,
Yeah.
and it also depends on the stage of your company and startup. So to be honest, if your team is like really new, young, you're at the beginning of the journey,
Yes.
I think you will have to be more bossy.
Yes,
I think your percentage is really
for
cool.
a mature team.
Mature, yeah, for a mature company. For a smaller company, for a startup, that's, I think for a startup, probably the founder has to take a lot of responsibility, accountability, and be the boss, kind of, but at the same time, like, she has to figure out the way to foster that creativity, which is super important for a
And I
startup.
think more than even creativity, yes, but also ownership, because
Yeah, that's what I mean.
people are much more likely to work on their own project than they are to work on yours, right? So the more you make it their project, the more likely you will get
Yeah.
a really great result in action.
Yeah.
But one interesting thing, and again, that's something curious if you guys have had this, if you're managing teams. I have deliberately let folks pursue an initiative or pursue direction that I believe was dead wrong, because I wanted them to learn and own it on their own.
Oh my God, look at you. I'm going to make
Like
you
a little
fail
bit.
so you learn. All right,
Yeah, well,
if that's your 20%. Okay. That looks like 50%, really.
yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure it's not going to work, but I thought that's another, I think, technique, I guess, in terms of your, let's say you can give it a month, depending on your situation, you can give it a month, 2-3 months, right? Depending on the runway, so that folks can, can learn from their own mistakes. And then, of course, you don't have to kill them for those mistakes, because otherwise they'll never
They're never
own
working.
anything. But
They're
that,
work.
I felt that they will not get behind fully what I want until they see their approach really fail. And so I waited 3 months to see that.
Wow, you have a good
Nerve.
experience. Yeah, girl, I didn't know this about you. That's well, I kind of knew this about you, but I didn't. I would not imagine that.
Lose the battle and win the war.
Yeah. So you read all those books, right? The Art of
Yeah,
War and stuff.
exactly. Amazing. Well, I think we're right on time. Hope you guys are wrapping up your lunch, and it was a fun conversation. Thank you, Anna. Virtual handshake.
Virtual handshake. Thank you so much. Next time we talk about branding, how to
Branding,
pick a
yes,
name
to
for your
me.
company or your project. I think it's going to be a great discussion, and that's going to be actually the creativity. That's going to be a creative stream for us. So no bosses next time, no bossing, right?
Exactly.
So that we can foster as much creativity as possible. Thank you so much, Vlada. Guys, don't forget to give us a follow. Don't forget to check out. Actually, Vlada has a new program that she's launching. Vlada, do you want to?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And it's one of those bossy, non-bossy scenarios where you can get me as a mentor on your team. It's a group program over 12 weeks, and it's really helping early stage founders get those first 10 paying customers with a proven, tested playbook that works. So you're not wondering and not doing 50 things that have been tried and not working. So it all starts from first 4 weeks on the dive into the primary research and the foundation of what you need to understand about your customers, where they get information, who they trust, and kind of how they talk about their pain points. And sort of we give you all the templates and playbooks and whatnot. And then it goes into actual demand generation, all the tech stack, all the playbooks, techniques, etc., and then goes into the actual sales funnel specifically for B2B. And then a weekly call as well, where you can ask any questions and share your results, and then learn from each other and get my feedback as well. I'm super excited. It's launching May 21st. So it's right around the corner.
Yeah, that's a great date. Yeah, thank you, Vlada, so much for sharing your knowledge. As an exited founder, you could be just like spending all your time in the Bahamas or somewhere else, but you are sharing your knowledge and with founders who are building their dream companies. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So great. So guys, check out Vlada's website. Vlada, make sure you share the link to your program in the comments. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And just say hi to me, guys. I'm not launching a new program. I still have my previous program. So if you want to upscale your international teams, communication skills, English, soft skills, cultural affinity, let me know. Hit me up, slide in my DMs, and let's chat more. Bye, guys.